So today we're going to try and find out who is the best Spider-Man. Spider-Man Peter Parker versus Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara, and Scarlet Spider, the Kaine version. Who comes out on top? Well, let's find out. Peter Parker was bitten by a radioactive spider as a teenager, granting him spider-like powers. After the death of his Uncle Ben, which he could have prevented, Peter learned that with great power comes great responsibility. Swearing to always protect the innocent from harm, Peter Parker became the Amazing Spider-Man. Peter's the proportionate strength of a spider, and is able to lift over 10 tons easily. He's able to go toe-to-toe with villains like Venom and Rhino, and has even held his own against Iron Man and Hulk. When in stressful situations, Spider-Man is able to lift much more, even supporting the Daily Bugle at one point, and he stopped an airplane before. Spider-Man has incredible durability, and is able to easily withstand blows from Hulk and Rhino, buildings collapsing on him, and even an explosion from hand grenades. Peter is so tough that he once just tensed his abdominal muscles against a trained boxer, and the boxer ended up breaking his wrist. However, Spider-Man isn't nearly as durable to penetrative forces, and he can still be hurt by knives and bullets. He possesses the speed, agility, and reflexes of a spider. Really, this is probably one of Spider-Man's greatest assets. He's been described as fast as machine gun fire, and can move faster than the human eye can follow. And he's also been described as the most agile character in the Marvel Universe, and can easily dodge bullets and projectiles. One of Spider-Man's most famous abilities is his spider sense, which kind of functions as a sixth sense, and allows him to sense when danger is incoming. The spider sense, with his speed, agility, and reflexes, make Spider-Man nearly impossible to hit. Peter has the ability to crawl along walls and other surfaces, and this ability also allows him to hold several tons with a single finger. Peter's most famous equipment are his web shooters, which he can use as a means of transportation, ensnaring opponents, and shooting small web bullets. Peter is an excellent fighter, and was trained by Shang-Chi, a unique form of martial arts that perfectly utilizes his spider powers, called the Way of the Spider. Then we also got Spider-Man 2099. In the year 2099, Miguel O'Hara, the head of the genetics department for the Alchemax Corporation, became the legendary hero known as Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2099 has powers similar to the modern-day Spider-Man, with superhuman strength, durability, speed, and agility. He's strong enough to lift up a car, and even tear off and lift up a giant tank turret. Miguel is also durable enough to survive disintegration blast and plasma blast, take 2 blasts that were meant to put down the Hulk in the future, and a point-blank shotgun blast didn't come close to penetrating his skin. His suit also increases its durability, as it's made out of unstable molecules bonded with Kevlar, and it's so durable that nothing short of a howitzer, a giant artillery cannon, can penetrate it. Then, like every member of the Spider family, Miguel is incredibly fast and agile. He supposedly has reaction times under an eighth of a second, can dodge bullets at close range, and even dodge machine gun fire from multiple shooters. One time, Miguel even enrolled in the American Ninja Warrior program just for fun, and went on to break all known records, and complete the course in 21 seconds. Then Miguel actually doesn't have a spider sense like other members of the Spider family, but he kinda makes up for it with all of his enhanced senses. Then he doesn't web sling as much as Peter either, instead choosing to use his web cape for gliding in order to get around. Spider-Man 2099 also has retractable talons that come out of his fingers and toes, allowing him to cling to pretty much any surface. They can also be used offensively in order to damage opponents, and he usually goes for the throat to take his enemies out. Then he also has venomous fangs that secrete poison if he bites someone. It can even affect someone like Hulk 2099. Finally, Spider-Man 2099 wears an armor made of unstable molecules, which allows him to use his talons without damaging his suit, and also protects him from both slashing attacks and even acid. And then finally we have the Scarlet Spider. Kaine was the first clone of Spider-Man created by the Jackal. He was suffering from clone degeneration, and was used as a test subject until he fled. He became an assassin, and spent years tormenting his clone brother Ben Reilly, until he was eventually cured of his cellular degeneration and has taken the mantle as the Scarlet Spider. As the Scarlet Spider, Kaine has very similar powers to the Peter Parker Spider-Man. He's actually physically stronger than Spider-Man, being able to lift around 20 tons without really exerting himself, and has broken through chains that were designed to be completely unbreakable by someone on Spider-Man's level. He's faster than Peter, although to what degree is really uncertain. However, he was able to react to 3 bullets within only a few meters of him. Kaine is also very durable, and has actually been seen using his webs to protect himself from attacks of horror. Scarlet Spider is able to create and shoot organic webbing from his wrist that is able to hold around 10,000 pounds. He also has a pair of retractable stingers that come from his wrist he uses to impale opponents. He can mentally communicate with spiders and control them, has night vision, has an enhanced healing factor, and still possesses his corrosive marker Kaine. Scarlet Spider is actually a skilled fighter, and has been able to defeat Kraven the Hunter, Master Assassins, even Wolverine. He also has no problem killing or severely injuring his opponents. So who wins? Well, let's break it down. Now I'm a massive fan of this fight. We finally get to see who is the best spider. Well, technically there are other spiders like Miles Morales, even Ben Reilly, the original Scarlet Spider, but I designed this fight to be between these 3 heroes, because I think it's the most even and interesting fight. Miles just isn't skilled or experienced enough to hang with these 3 other guys. And while I like Ben, I've just read more and I'm more familiar with Kaine. So with that being said, let's get started. Now right from the get-go, both Miguel and Kaine are at a significant disadvantage in this fight because they don't have a spider sense. Miguel tries to make up for it with enhanced senses, and while that usually works against most opponents, he won't be as lucky against Peter. Then Kaine used to actually have a spider sense, even a spider sense that allows him to see into the future, but he's lost that. Now he's got to rely on his normal senses and powers, which makes him tend to overthink things and tries to predict what will happen next and figure out how he's going to counter it. So right from the beginning, Peter's going to have a massive advantage on his side with his spider sense. It allows him to dodge attacks from behind, from invisible opponents, from teleporting attacks, and even warns him against bad ideas or against making mistakes. Peter's also got a massive advantage when it comes to experience. And experience can be so key to any fight. But when a fight's between 3 people with virtually the same powers, experience can mean either winning or losing. In addition, Peter actually has a lot of experience specifically fighting against spider opponents, like Venom, Carnage, Toxin, Kaine, Anti-Venom, and Ben Reilly. Even those opponents might actually be stronger or more powerful than him. So we've established that Peter has 2 initial advantages in this fight, with his experience and his spider sense. But I don't believe that alone is enough to propel him to victory. I mean, both Miguel and Kaine are very dangerous and skilled opponents. So let's take a look at their physicality, because that's what a lot of this fight can hinge on. Well, with strength, Miguel is definitely at the bottom. Yeah, he's done things like lift a car, rip off a tank turret. We're talking about spiders, that's not really that impressive. Now, Pete has supported buildings, lifted subway cars, and held up a falling construction crane. It was actually Kaine that is the strongest out of these 3. I mean, not only has he kicked Peter so hard that Spider-Man could barely think, but Scarlet Spider has actually destroyed its chains that were designed to be too much for Peter, and far beyond his level of strength. Then with durability, well, Miguel is definitely best against penetrative forces, as he's taken point-blank shotgun blast. That's mostly just because of his armor. However, Peter has shown that he's overall more durable than any of the others here, having survived massive explosions, and even blows from Hulk and Juggernaut. Then, once again, Peter's more agile than either of the 2 other spiders, as not only has he dodged and webbed up bullets after they've been fired, but he's just overall one of the fastest and most agile heroes in the Marvel Universe. It's been said that Kaine is actually faster than Peter, but the feats aren't there to back it up. However, I would say that he is faster and more agile than Miguel. Really, at this point, I think it's safe to say we can eliminate Spider-Man 2099 from the fight, and say that Miguel will come in and last. Yeah, he has his fangs and toxin in his claws, but spiders have proven that they're actually really resistant to toxins, and those claws and fangs aren't going to be enough to make up for his lack of a spider sense, or not being as strong or as fast as the others. Plus, Peter's got more experience on him, and Kaine is a much more brutal and ruthless fighter. No, this fight is coming down to Spider-Man and the Scarlet Spider. So, who's coming out on top in that one? Well, Kaine is stronger, but Pete has proved himself to be faster, more durable, and the better and more experienced fighter. Plus, he's got a spider sense, although Kaine has fought and beat Ben Reilly, even though Ben had a spider sense and Kaine didn't. Now, Peter is trained and conditioned himself to hold back and subconsciously pulls its punches so that he won't kill his enemies. No such thing with Kaine. He can be a kinda ruthless fighter and isn't afraid to kill, and that might give him the leg up he needs to overcome and take down Peter. However, I really don't see that happening. Peter's just got so much more skill and experience of his powers, and experience fighting other spiders, and people who are willing to kill him. Not to mention his spider sense and greater speed and agility. Kaine will give him a good fight, but Spider-Man is coming out on top, and proving himself to be the greatest spider of them all. But, what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts, so sign off in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe button, more videos just one every single weekday, and I'll see you next time.